This is Kim. I'm Maggie with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing lesson 11 of my 12 days of Christmas layouts. What that means, we only have 2 more. And today's is going to use a paper pack that was part of our Black Friday bundles. Oop, I think Maggie wants to say bye. Maggie, say bye. Bye. Okay, so we're going to do a quick layout. This is using the Enchanted Snow Globe paper. And we are doing a layout that came out on the CM blog back in 2020. So it's been a while ago that this came out, but I just thought it would be fun, quick, easy, and something that you could incorporate into your Christmas album, or really any album using any paper. But I'm going to use the Enchanted Snow Globe paper pack and collection to complete this today. So I hope this is something you'll enjoy. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today. And if you didn't get the Enchanted Snow Globe designer paper pack and collection that went with it in the Black Friday bundles this season, never fear, you can use these sketches and these layouts with any collection. So you'll just choose your own paper and it'll be fine. Everything will turn out lovely. So never fear. But this one is such a beautiful collection. I really was excited to use it, and I haven't gotten to thus far this season because I've been so excited about all the other ones. So we're going to do this one today. We're going to do this sketch, and this is a really cute layout that's fairly simple that Krislyn Mattei put together for us back in October of 2020. And I just really like the simplicity and how clean this layout looks. So I wanted to bring it to you and show you a way that I would do it. I haven't actually read through all of the instructions that we're given from Krislyn, but I would imagine they don't deviate too much from the way that I'm going to put it together. Okay, I have my corner rounder out here, my CM corner rounder. If you don't have a CM corner rounder, you need a corner rounder that's going to invert the edge. So it's going to cut a wedge out of the corner like this, like you see here. But if you have a CM corner rounder, these will do both ways. So that is what we're going to use today. That's pretty much the only tool besides our trimmers that we're going to use. I have two matching pieces of designer paper that I like both sides of. I have a piece of navy cardstock, and I have 4 of the laser cut borders out. 2 sets of matching laser cut borders. I also have a little piece of white cardstock, and I have 4 strips of white cardstock that we're going to use to help us weld some pieces together. All right, I also have permanent and repositionable adhesive, which I'm going to scooch over there until we need them in just a second. I'm going to move my borders over, and I'm going to move my welding pieces over because we will get to them in just a minute or two. All right, so oddly enough, we're going to start by cutting some mats. And I'm going to use the navy cardstock to cut the mats that we're going to do. So get your 12-inch trimmer out, and we are going to cut 2 mats. Well, let me just walk you through it, shall we? Okay, so we're going to cut one at 4 1/4. Okay, we're going to cut another one at 4 1/4. All right, then we're going to, I might need another piece of paper. In fact, I'm definitely going to need another piece of paper, but that's okay. We're going to stack those 2 pieces that we just cut, and we're going to cut those at 6 1/4. And we're going to cut them again at 4 1/4. getting my papers to stack properly. Okay, so 4 1/4. There we go. This is extra, so just set it aside. We're going to take the remaining piece and we're going to cut, let's see, let me see the measurement on this one. This one measures 3 1/2. All right, so we're going to cut 1/4 inch off of this and make it 3 1/4. Okay, that 1/4 inch can just go to the side. And we're going to cut 2 at 4 1/4. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to set this piece aside and I'm going to grab another piece of navy cardstock. All right, so I'm going to take a second piece of navy cardstock and we're going to cut another strip at 4 1/4. Set that larger piece back to the side and we're going to cut 2 more at 4 1/4, so that we have a total of 4. All right, so there's 1 and here is 2. All right, so setting that piece of cardstock, extra piece of cardstock to the side. Okay, now I'm going to take the white piece that I have and I want 2 pieces that are 3 by 4. So I'm going to, since this corner is a little bit bent, I'm going to flip that and line it up at the 4 inch mark and cut. And then I'm going to turn it and we're going to cut 2 that will be 4 by 3. So we cut it at 4 inches already. Now we cut these at 3 inches. All right. So those are our mats and they're just going to hang out over here to the side for a minute. Then we're going to take each of our matching designer papers, the ones that we like both sides, and we're going to cut them so that we have 1 1/2 inches off of both top and bottom. So if you have a directional side, like this side is actually kind of a top and a bottom rather than going this way. You could use it this way if you wanted, but for what we're doing today, we're going to use it top to bottom like this. Okay, so I'm just stacking those 2 papers, turning them so that the top is facing the right hand side. Then I'm going to trim off 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so we've got 1 1/2 inches here. And I'm going to very carefully stack it over here. Then I'm going to turn it all the way around and cut 1 1/2 inches off of this side. Okay, so 1 1/2 inches here. All right, so that should leave you with 9 inches in the middle. Okay, now those are all the pieces that we're going to need. So let me go ahead and just put this away because we're not going to need that for the remainder of this session. And we're going to do some welding right off the bat, okay? Now you can either do this with this side as your center or this side as your center. I like the snowflakes. I think those are going to be a really nice background. So I'm going to do mine using the snowflakes on top in the middle, which means that I need to use not the snowflake but the other background for the bottom and the top. Okay, so these are going to go here, and that might look a little funny just now, but I'm hoping that after the borders get put on it, it will all make sense and be beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna flip this upside down. This is our alternative, but I want the other side, as I mentioned already. So I'm just gonna line up my designer papers so that they are right on top of each other. Not overlapping, but just right on the edge. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to take my permanent adhesive and run it across that connection where the papers are coming together. Just putting about a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of adhesive every couple of inches all the way down. Okay. Then I'm going to take one of my welding strips, place it so that it's even with the bottom, what looks like the bottom edge right here, and with that welded seam right in the middle, and sticking that down. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing on this end. And actually, I think Krislyn has you cutting the paper and attaching it to a page, but I decided to just weld mine because it just seemed like it made sense. So this welding technique is a technique that I learned from a friend of mine. Her name is Sherry Tilley. She's a CM advisor. She also has a channel, Scrapping with Sherry. And so if you don't support her other channel or her channel already, if you would jump over there and subscribe to her channel, that I'm sure she would love that. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this second page. And I'm going to do like that and like this so that I make sure I have the right edges going the direction I want them to. Flip that over and weld these two together. Alright, so there are our 2 welded pages. Good to go. Might need to trim a little bit of my welding material there, just on the edge. A couple of them look like they're showing just a little bit. That's okay. Alright, now I'm going to grab my repositionable adhesive and these 2 really cute borders. I think these are meant to be holding snow globes, but I'm not going to use them that way. That would be a smart thing to do, and would also work really well with the page that I did, the snow globe page that I did, that you can see a link for up there in the corner. But I am going to use these just slightly different way. So we're going to just place this right along the edge of the brown paper, right along the edge of where we welded our page together right here. Okay, so this flat spot in between each of these arched bowls is what I'm lining up with the seam. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this one. Line that edge up, super easy with that seam. Okay, then we're going to take these 2 with the snow globe snowflakes and put adhesive on the back of each of these. Now if you don't have, if you have chosen a paper that you don't have laser borders to use, that's okay. Punch yourself a border. Get your CM border maker out and punch yourself a border. That will be just fine to do. Okay. As I'm laying this on here, it's going to be about halfway over that seam. So, and no matter how you do it, just make sure that both sides match. So do you see how I put my two paper edges together there and just made sure that this one on this side is at the same place that this one on this side is. Okay, so that they match when you put the pages together. All right, and then we're going to take our mats. We have two 4 4¼ by 6¼ mats, and those are the big ones. If you have a mat pack that you can use with the collection that you are using, then select one of the larger mats from the mat pack. Okay, so those are going to go there. Let me put some adhesive on them. Oh, I didn't need to flip that over. Cardstock, same color on both sides, right? It gets so funny when I do that. All right. So this is actually going to be, I don't know why that's not super sticky, but it's not. So we're going to just put some permanent adhesive there. Weird. Okay. So I'm going to place this about 3/8 of an inch from the center of my layout and about 3/8 of an inch up from the bottom. That's where that first mat is going to go. Okay, so I'm going to line up both sides of my layout and put this other one in the same place on this page. Okay, so just like that. Then I'm going to come in here with two of the 4x4 mats go on each side. Okay, so we're going to, and actually so that you can see this a little bit easier, let me grab these and put them on so that you can tell where they're supposed to be. Putting these on, putting my photo cards on with repositionable adhesive so that when I add my pictures, I can either add a little more adhesive and use this as a double mat, or I can take these off and use them again. But this reminds me of what size picture needs to go in that square. All right, so these are going to line up and be so this one's going to be slightly lower, and we're going to add that just below the laser cut border. Okay, so overlapping by just a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch of an overlap there. Oops. I went way outside the parameters of where I needed to go there. All right, and then this one, this one's going to overlap both. So it sits about 1/4 of an inch below. I'm going to make it touch my upper laser border right there. Okay, it sits almost an inch probably 5/8 of an inch into this picture, the bigger picture, and about 1/4 of an inch into that other one. Okay. And what we should do is not put adhesive on this corner so that we can add that photo that's going to need to slide in there. So I'm just rubbing that repositionable adhesive off of that corner so that I can slide a photo underneath there with no issue. Okay? All right, let's do this side. Okay, so it's just that 1/4 inch that is the border between the photos, or the mat. That's all that's going over. Okay, and then this one is going to be roughly right there, maybe a little further. Yeah, we've got about 1.5 inches overlap into this photo. Okay, so there's that. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to play with this one. So I want you to grab your corner rounder. We're going to invert the corners on the white, the white piece that we cut, so that we get a nice little bite out of the corner. And be careful as you do this. Make sure your paper is at the right, you know, snugly in there at a nice right angle, because it's easy to, if you're doing it too fast, if you're going too fast, it's easy to get your paper in there at the wrong angle, and then you end up with a sideways bite taken out of it, which is still a bite, but it does look a little bit funky. All right, so now I've got all these cute little 1/4 circles. Now what we're going to do is go like this with our adhesive and our navy mats. And we're going to just add this on to that navy mat. You can use this as your journal box. You can add an additional smaller picture to this mat. You can take a photo that you cut. So these were cut to be 4 by 3. The white was initially 4 by 3. So if you cut your photo to be 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then put a notch in the corner here and place it on this mat, it will look really sharp. I think you will be very pleased if you do that. All right, so this one is going to go underneath here. So we're going to need to, again, lift this up. This is why repositionable adhesive, right? Okay, then we're going to take this piece, and this is going to go, this is going to stick out about 1/2 inch. So about 1/2 inch beyond this outside photo. Okay, so whatever picture you put in here you need to be okay with blocking a little bit of it. I know sometimes I have photos that I'm more than happy to block a portion of, and other times I really want to see the whole thing. So, you know, just know ahead of time that you need to be able to tuck under a photo there. Okay, so let's see. I need one of these also. 6 by 4. That should have gone on there. This one should have gone on here. So This actually is going to go right up. Do you see how it nests right next to the photo next to it? That's because the or there's going to be just a tiny little bit of a break, just a tiny one in between those. All right, and mine, this one is too far over. How did I do that? So I need to just slide this over just a tiny bit. All right. I'm liking that much better. Okay. Then this one, yeah, I think I'm just going to leave that just like that. All right, so then what we need to do is go ahead and get some embellishments on here. So this collection comes with a whole host of embellishments. It also comes with some sparkly rub-on stickers. So I'm just going to see which of these would look nicest added to here. I want to see if maybe there's one that I could cut down the middle and place kind of on both sides of my layout right here. So let's see if there's one. There isn't really one that I could easily do that with. Unless we did, there's no place like home. That one actually would be cute right there. There's no place like home. We could cut it down right between the W and on the right of the snow globe, and I think it would be just perfect. This is a pretty big embellishment. This is 5 5/8 by almost 2.5. So that's pretty significant. It's a pretty significant embellishment title that we're putting up there. All right. I had just some snowflakes, I think, is all we would need to kind of go with that. And then maybe a snowflake something small, kind of right here. And right down here. That's what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to go with those. Yep. All right, so let's grab some foam squares. And I'm going to grab these rub-on transfers that came with this collection. So if you're not familiar with these are what we call a foil rub-on transfer. I don't use these very often, so it's always interesting. The instructions are right on the back. It says cut out the icon you want to apply, carefully remove the white protective backing, place the icon ink side down where you want to apply it, and use your multi-purpose tool, which is this guy, to apply it. And you apply it by rubbing it firmly over the top until the ink is transferred to the surface. Then you carefully peel the rub-on transfer sheet off. If the ink has not completely transferred, gently put the sheet back down and continue to rub with your multi-purpose tool. Alright, so let's see if there's some of these that we could use on here. I don't think I want gold. I think I want silver, and I just want, I think these little snowflakes are what I'm looking for. So in this case, just in case you're wondering, we have 2 sheets of gold rub-ons and 1 sheet of silver, which I think I would have rather had more of the silver, but that's probably just me. Alright, so I'm going to grab, first of all, going to grab a foam square and place on the back of this embellishment. Going to add this on, but we're going to add it, I didn't do that the way I wanted to, as I was about to explain. So let me try to move it. These are hard to move once they are applied, so let's see if it will let me. See if it will stick on. So I'm applying it just slightly towards the outside edge of the embellishment, and the reason is because I don't want it to stick to this photo. So I'm going to make the shelf even with the shelf at the bottom, and put my foam square on the outside so it's just enough to lift that up just a little off the page. We're going to do the same thing with this one over here, but we're going to head towards that side of the embellishment so that we can adhere this and not worry about any of the pictures that are going to go down. Okay, we can still slide all the pictures where we need to slide them. So that's good. Alright, let me grab my precision point scissors and going to just come in here and cut around these cute snowflakes. We're going to try this. Again, in the interest of full disclosure, I have actually never used a rub-on transfer, CM or otherwise, in my album, so this is going to be an interesting experience, but I want to see. Oh, I just realized we never got this put down. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I think maybe I am ADHD and I just don't even realize it. Well, ADD anyway, I don't have the hyperactivity thing, but sometimes I just don't stay on the page that I need to stay on. Okay, so we're just going to put our pages together so that we can place this in the same spot on both sides of the layout. Okay, so there's that. Now, that's important, and I needed to do that first because when I go to put down my snowflakes, I need to be able to make sure that that is stabilized where it's going to stay. Okay, alright, so now I believe the instructions said we are to remove this white background. Okay, set that over here. You can see the design on the foil right there. We're going to turn it over so that the plastic, clear plastic side is up, and we're going to place this where we want it. Now I'm thinking now that I want to do the big one first, so I'm going to come in here and take the backing off of the big one. Here's the big one. And this one I want to put kind of just above the word like. Now I'm going to be putting this over multiple layers. I'm hoping that that's not going to cause a problem. But I guess we'll find out, and then you will know what to do or not do. Okay, so I'm going to just use using the flatter, skinnier end of my multi-purpose tool. I'm going to rub on this all along the design. And hopefully it will transfer like magic. Let's see. Let's lift this up and see if we have done that enough. Wow. That's cool. Look at that. That's really cool. I like that. I think maybe I missed a couple of places because the design isn't fully complete, but that's okay. I'm going to be more careful this next time. Okay, so this is sticky, so you don't want to touch the sticky part of the design part on there. So I'm going to overlap that just a little bit, not really overlapping it with the other snowflake, just overlapping it with the title embellishment that I added on there. Okay, being real careful along that edge to make sure that I get all of that stuck down. All right, let's see if I did a better job this time. I like that. That's super pretty. Okay, it's still kind of stuck over here, so I'm gonna rub it some more. And we'll try and lift that off again. There, nice. Okay, very cool. I'm liking these. Just a quick note, that corner of my embellishment started to peel back a little bit with it. So if that happens to you, just stop what you're doing and start peeling the backing away from another side and you'll be okay. All right, let's do this last one. These are nice. I think I shied away from these for no good reason before. I'm liking the way these look, especially the fact that they're foiled. Okay, so this one's going to go down here. Just going to put it right over the corner just a little bit. Okay, so just a little bit over the corner of my embellishment. Rubbing it down really, really good. Getting around the edges of that embellishment so that it will stick where I want it to stick. All right, let's see if I can get that to peel up nice and easy with no issues. Perfect. All right. I like it. Very, very nice. Okay, well, you let me know if you've tried these rub-on embellishments. Let me know what your experience has been like and whether those have worked well for you. I like them, aside from this first one that I obviously didn't do quite thoroughly enough, but I think given that it's a snowflake, it'll be okay. But this is the layout that we've done for today, and this one, I think you can agree, went together really, really quickly. It's hard to see those embellishments that I rubbed on there, but if I lift the paper, lift the page up, you can see those much easier. And I love that they're sparkly. Just a little bit of sparkle to add to the page. And how many? We've got at least 6 photos, possibly 7 and 8, depending on if you use these for journaling. So maybe 7 photos, I would say, on this page. So really, really cute. I like it. Let me know what you think. And it looks like we only have like 2 more days, so I hope you've got all your shopping done. And if you don't, I wish you Godspeed. Be careful out there. Even if you don't have snow or ice like we tend to have here in my neck of the woods, you will have some crazy people, so be careful. And hopefully you're not one of the crazy people that's out there. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Merry Christmas.